You don't love capitalism or hate socialism. I mean, you don't even know what either of those things mean. Yeah, I do. Socialism is when the government controls the economy, and capitalism is when private enterprise controls the economy. What if I told you that there are many different kinds of socialism, some of which feature about the same or even less government control of the economy than the capitalist system you currently live in? I would say that doesn't make any sense. It does when you realize that the difference is not government control of an industry versus private control, but instead control of the people funding the industry versus control of the people actually working in it. What does that mean? Well, in a capitalist enterprise, there are one or several owners that provide capital to a business, and they are the ones who ultimately make all of the decisions for that business. They spend the capital to buy property and pay workers to utilize that property to generate revenue. The difference between the money spent and the revenue generated is called profit, and all of this profit is kept by the owners. Yeah, I get that part, but without government control of business, how is socialism different? Well, take the same exact company, except instead of a group of owners making all the decisions and keeping all the profits, the workers own the company, which means that they elect their own leadership and split up the profits equitably amongst the people like us who are actually doing the work. Hey there, owning a business is a lot of work. A buddy of mine owns a small business and he does a hell of a lot more work than I do. That's just an option under capitalism, though. If your friend wanted to, he could pay for all that labor to be done for him and still keep all of the profit. In a socialist system, he would get paid for the labor that he does and take a share of the profits along with the rest of the workers he needs to help generate them. That does seem a lot more fair, but it also sounds kinda too good to be true. I mean, if it was really so much better, then why don't we have any examples of this working? But we do, though, because there have been many studies on firms like worker co-ops which run this way. Pretty much all of them indicate that these firms last longer and are more productive on average than capitalist-owned firms. Yeah, I guess I could see how that can work on the scale of a single company, but on a nationwide level, I have my doubts, considering that there are no socialist nations that are as prosperous as ours. You could have made the same argument against capitalism when it first emerged as a competitor to other systems like mercantilism and slavery. It didn't immediately take over because the powers that be had a vested interest in keeping the system the way that it was. But that by no means meant that capitalism wasn't a superior system. So the same thing could be true of socialism today. You just have to open your mind to the possibility.